changed man when he handed Sting a world title shot. Last week on Impact, Kurt Angle made it known that he had a problem with how Sting became the #1 contender. Sting proposed that we settle it the old-fashioned way. Angle versus Sting, the winner gets Christian at Sacrifice.
And his opponent is from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's the only Olympic gold medalist in professional wrestling history. He is Kurt Angle!
When Kurt Angle invited Jeff Jarrett to return to TNA at Lockdown, his motives and his integrity were questioned. Angle felt the heat from the fans, from his teammates. Angle believed that he had everything to lose and nothing to gain by trusting Jarrett. And in Angle's mind, when Jarrett handed Sting the title shot, he was betrayed. But according to Jarrett, it was just a case of Sting being in the right place at the right time.
Mike, when I saw that look on Kurt Angle's face, I think that in his mind there was no way anybody but him was going to get that pinned and Lockdown. And then when it happened, he's up on top of the cage, fighting off with AJ Styles, and he realized that Sting got it. And the way Sting got it, by Jeff Jarrett handing it to him, I think it was just a little too much for him to handle.
After the brutal beating last week on Impact, we do not have an update on a business condition. I can tell you he's not in the Impact Zone.
Oh, there's no way he would be. That was absolutely one of the sickest things I've ever seen. I mean, literally, it made you sick to your stomach to see the blood pouring from the head and the arms. I shudder when I think about it, Mike.
Angle fired off chest first, right into the turnbuckles. Look at Sting on the offensive. Gonna go for the Stinger splash and connects in the opening minute of the match. Takes out the legs of Angle. And check this out. Is he gonna go for the Scorpion? He tried. Angle quick counter, and he went for his patented ankle lock.
I mean, both of them trying to finish each other off super early, and it's a good strategy. Both these guys are such veterans. They're such greats. The longer this match goes, they're going to have time to concentrate, and I think both of them try to get a quick win.
Boy, you're right. Amazingly enough, in the opening minute of this first ever meeting, both Sting and Kurt Angle go for their patented finishing moves.
You know, Mike, a lot of people were a little down on the Olympic gold medalist, the attitude he took towards Jeff Jarrett when Sting got the pin, but you know what? He's the one that went out on a limb. He's the one that brought Jeff Jarrett in the fold against everybody's wishes. I can see his frustration.
I mean, I agree with you to a certain extent, Don, but the bottom line is, at Lockdown, who got the pin? Who got the 1, 2, 3?
You're absolutely right there. There's no argument for that. Sting did get the pin, and I just think it's the way that Sting got it also. I think maybe in Kurt's mind, he feels he didn't earn it.
Quick reversal. Sting shot off into the ropes. Oh, my! Taken overhead with the belly-to-belly release suplex by Angle.
I mean, look how effortlessly he did that. Kurt Angle just able to get the hold and then spun him out now. Throw Sting out of the ring, but Sting able to land on his feet.
You're right, Angle just tossed him right out to the arena floor here at the Impact Zone. And I don't think Sting quite realized what he was up against here with the Olympic gold medalist who's really opened it up and turned it loose. But I think Sting right there may have been playing a little bit of possum.
Oh, absolutely.
He threw Angle out to the arena floor and then sends him right into the guardrail and now over the safety rail and into the crowd.
I thought he was disoriented. I like the way Sting played that. I thought he was disoriented, and he just suckered Kurt Angle right into it. Kurt Angle got too close, got the leg, and now look at it. He's setting up the runway there, straight into the wall, but oh, Angle reverses it.
Oh, just overpowered him and shot Sting back first, right into the wall. Again, keep in mind, the winner of this matchup gets the world's title shot against Christian Cage. And just as I was going to say his name, he comes running right by the broadcast table along with the other members of Team Cage. There's Tomko, AJ Styles, and Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. And the referee has called for the bell. I can't believe it. They've thrown this match out already.
Well, you see Angle just take a vicious shot against the steps. This is disgusting. The crowd didn't deserve this. Here they're getting to see a dream match. A match that people talked about for years and years. And Team Cage comes in and blows it just because he can't stand. I think he's just trying to cost both these guys a title shot. Oh, Team Cage, disgusting. Reminds me of what he did to Abyss last week.
Oh, I'm sure that's exactly what their game plan is. As Tomko and Styles have beaten the hell out of Kurt Angle, you see that Sting's being neutralized by that Steiner incliner. My God! Chair shot right into the face, right into the head of Kurt Angle. And keep in mind, Kurt Angle has had a broken neck in the past.
Think of the broken neck and all the injuries that he's had, and you can see they busted him open on the head. And again, you see Christian Cage with that chair, and it reminds you of him handing the chair to every member of Team Cage last week on Abyss. And I hope they don't do the same thing.
God, not another one! shot by the world's champion to the unprotected back and neck of the Olympic gold medalist. Oh, it's pretty obvious. Christian Cage fears defending the title against Angle, and there's a DDT right on the steel chair. Oh, I'm having flashbacks from last week with that total destruction of Abyss. Christian Cage and company have left their mark again.
You can see Scott Steiner now makes his way to the ring as Sting enters the ring. He's got a chair, and he clears house, and it's obvious Team Cage succeeded in what they intended on doing, and that was taking Kurt Angle out of sacrifice here coming up.
Well, this is the last thing we expected when we knew that it was going to be, Sting against Kurt Angle to determine who gets the title shot against Christian Cage. Whoever expected that we would see Sting coming to the aid, coming to the rescue of his fallen opponent, Kurt Angle. Referee had to throw it out. A double disqualification. You can hear what Sting just said. We need somebody out here. We need some help for Kurt Angle.
You know, sometimes it's better to just lay out and soak in the atmosphere here in Atlanta, Georgia, as Sting makes a return to what he called his old stomping grounds. Tonight at Bound for Glory, Sting in the role of the challenger. In addition to that championship, Don, you know that he is fueled by one thing, the revenge that he wants to get for the abuse that his son Garrett had to suffer in Southern California. Sting was in Florida. He had to watch it. He had to feel so helpless. Right now, Sting can get his revenge.
So many people have questioned the motives of the Olympic gold medalist. Why wake up a sleeping giant? Why make it that personal? You know, we found out that the whole Karen Angle slap situation was a conceived plan between the Angle.
Total BS.
And then he goes to the other extreme and stalked Sting's son at a football game and then laid his hands on him. And you think, why would you do that? Obviously, Kurt Angle has a plan. Obviously, he's trying to get into the mind. But you wonder if he went too far.
Remember what Angle said. He said, when I beat Sting at Bound for Glory, I want to beat him at his best. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to send it to the ring. We're going to shoot it to JB, Jeremy Borash, where he will introduce the competitors for our main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the TNA Heavyweight Championship of the World. When the bell rings, the man in charge, TNA Senior Official, Mr. Rudy Charles. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for your Bound for Glory main event of the evening. Introducing, first of all, standing in the corner to my right. He weighed in this morning at 245 pounds. Tonight, he returns to the very city where he spent over a decade of his professional wrestling career. Now residing in Venice Beach, California, this is the challenger, the icon, Sting! And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing, standing in the corner to my left, he weighed in this morning at 235 pounds. Tonight, he returns to the very city where in 1996 he became an Olympic gold medalist. He is the current reigning and defending TNA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Kurt Angle.
Referee Rudy Charles holds the gold high in the air. The TNA World Heavyweight Championship, it's on the line, it's at stake. This is what we've been waiting for. This is our Bound for Glory main event. This is Kurt Angle and Sting. And Don, you just have to know that in Sting's mind, he had to do everything within his power to hold back during those in-ring introductions by JB in anticipating that revenge that he looks to gain here against Kurt Angle.
Mike, I've got goosebumps. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Witness thing. These two guys with it all on the line, and yeah, you said it, but what better revenge, Mike, than to get it in the ring? To beat Kurt Angle at what Kurt Angle feels he does better than anybody in the world. And that's wrestle, and Sting wants to embarrass him right out here and show him that he went too far.
You can almost tell by the body language of the champion, by the look on the face of Kurt Angle right there, as he heard the reaction from the crowd here in Atlanta. He realizes that it's a great atmosphere here at Bound for Glory. And I think when Angle received that kind of a response from this crowd, maybe he was a little taken aback, a little surprised that in the town where he won the Olympic gold medal here in Atlanta, Georgia, that he received that kind of response as Angle works on the arm and wrist of the challenger Sting.
Well, you know, and that was 11 years ago, and right now I think these people just remember the last few weeks. And that's what he did to Sting, what he did to Sting's family. And when you cross the line that far, it's hard to forgive. It's hard to, cheer somebody for what they did in the past when you realize that he put his hand on Sting's son.
Sting working on the arm, and you can see the effect that it has there. Angle trying to wring out the pain, maybe get a little life back into the wrist, into the arm, and into the elbow as well, as Sting applies pressure here in the opening minute.
Kurt Angle's going to try to make this a complete ground game, something that he does so well, something that he did so well here. And this, oh, look at Sting, though, turn it around. He doesn't quite have the shoulder down to the mat, but I'll tell you what, that caught Angle by surprise.
Might be the same game plan for Sting, quickly stuffed off into the side head scissors by Angle. Sting breaks it, stands at attention, and both men make the eye contact, and I hate to say that there's mutual respect between the two in terms of personalities, but you know there has to be mutual respect when it comes to in-ring abilities.
Well, neither one of them is going to take the other one for granted, that's for sure. I mean, they've been in this ring too long. They've got too much experience. They can't let it become too emotional.
Whoa.
And I think that's what Kurt Angle was trying to do, was trying to make it emotional for Sting. A nice hip toss. Wow.
The shoulder block by Angle, countered perfectly by Sting with that high hip toss. And you saw the look on Angle's face when he rolled right out here, Don, just a couple of feet away from us. And there you see the close-up look right there. Angle caught off guard by that quick counter by Sting.
Sometimes it's just the little things, too. I think he hit his back in a strange way on that hip toss, and you can see Kurt Angle he's kind of checking himself. He's holding the right hip where he kind of landed right there. And,
it's exactly the case.
And you could see in his eyes, I think he's a little surprised at how methodical and how well thought out Sting's game plan is. I think he thought Sting was going to come at him in a flurry, and he didn't.
That was what I anticipated, but the more I watch this match unfold, the more I think that Sting probably has the proper strategy, probably has the proper game plan. Go at it at your own pace, as we're seeing now, and now Sting unloads, turns Angle around in the corner. Corner mount. Listen to him raining those rights as the crowd counts along.
I mean, look at this, just one shot after another. And one thing I've noticed with Sting, he's not afraid to take a little to give a little. He'll let Kurt Angle build his confidence, and then as soon as the window opens, he just goes right through it, and that's what he's done. And Kurt Angle right now has just got himself into a buzzsaw.
Oh, attempt at the reversal by Angle. Sting puts on the brakes, and you can see how Angle was surprised right there. Angle catches him off guard with a kick, and then a European uppercut rocks him. The reversal now, shooting Angle off. Sting goes for the drop kick. Angle one step ahead. He hooked that top rope, but Sting uses his leg strength to kick him off.
Well,
Clothesline missed, drop kick didn't.
Boy, that time he was able to come back and hit it. And look at him just send him over the top rope, right to the floor.
We can anticipate what both champion and challenger are building to in this title match. You know that Sting is going to use, Don, if he can, one of his Scorpion-type moves, maybe the Scorpion Death Drop, maybe the Scorpion Death Walk. By the same token, I think we're well aware of Kurt Angle's game plan as Angle gets flung into the steel. Angle wants to wear you down. He wants to work on your legs. He wants to work on your knees in anticipation of one thing, that patented submission move, the ankle lock, and there goes Angle again, directly into the rail.
Well, right now, it's one of the things I swear. I think Sting was thinking about going over the top rope and diving on Kurt Angle, but he changed his mind. And wait a minute, he's coming on the table. He just slams his head right on the announce table, and Sting is just absolutely in total control. Unbelievable.
Angle's head meets the wood of the broadcast position, and Sting sent him directly into it. Now, the challenger takes the champ by the head and tosses him back inside the 6 sides, and that's probably a wise move.
Sting not doing anything careless, not doing anything reckless. He's not putting himself in a position to get caught like that. He gets himself out of the way, and the shoulder goes directly into the repost by Kurt Angle.
He sidestepped the charging Angle. He was going to go for that Scorpion Death Drop, but Angle raked the eyes, and then out of nowhere, Angle catches him off guard with that suplex release.
Oh, he did. He got right in behind him, and he hit it, and that's what Kurt Angle needed. He's got to have something that he can use to get himself back up in this matchup, because Sting has been in total control. But you know one thing about Kurt Angle, you give him an inch and he'll take a mile, and he'll take control of it right from here to the finish.
Angle senses that the offensive moves have turned it in his favor. Look how quickly he goes for the pin after the slam. 2 count only, right back on it again, and again Sting rolls the shoulder.
I mean, he put Sting's knee right, he put his knee right into Sting's back and thought he had the pin set up, but Sting, of course, just pure adrenaline. But look at those uppercuts that he uses. And now the rights.
They will rock you. First it is that uppercut, snaps your head back, and then the series of right hands, and now Angle takes the boot, puts it right across the windpipe of Sting, trying to take his breath away, and then use the ropes for a little extra leverage as well.
And I think about a year ago, and what a wonderful night it was for the icon Sting, and right now, he's got himself right there in the clutch of the Kurt Angle, and another pin attempt, but he gets still right just in time.
Angle relentless in going for these pin attempts. And it's a great strategy if you think about it. Hit the suplex, go immediately for the pin, maybe you get the win, maybe you surprise everybody, and now Angle goes to the body scissors, wrapping his legs around the midsection of Sting. Rakes the eyes at the same time just to add a little extra pain and punishment.
He does. He pulls on the chin, rakes the eyes. Those are the little things that you do to get inside the head. Let the other guy know there's nothing you won't do to win this match. And sometimes it works for you, and then sometimes it just ticks the other guy off so bad it costs it. And look at Sting just grabbing that leg and really forcing it up. But Kurt Angle trying to get the leverage again.
Back up to that vertical base is Sting. Angle maintaining the grip with the side headlock. You know, it's been interesting watching the dynamics between Kevin Nash and Angle, between Karen Angle and Kurt, as Kurt unloads that time, belly to belly, release, overhead suplex. I mean, it's gotten to the point where his buddy Kevin Nash said, "You're on your own." Remember, Karen Angle has the restraining order against her as well. To me, that means, Kurt Angle, you are on your own tonight against Sting.
And right now, he's in total control, too. I mean, it's almost like that emotional bubble just burst with Sting. And he just looks a little mentally tired, and you can see that Kurt Angle's exploiting it, Mike.
It had to be a concern. Don, it was something we mentioned right off the top of the match. We were surprised that Sting really didn't go balls out in the opening minute. At that point, we realized that it was better that he held back. But now we see the complexion of this match turn totally in favor of the defending champion, and Angle is neutralizing Sting with the chin lock.
I mean, he's doing everything he wants to do right now when he wants to do it. I mean, he's got the knee placed into the back. He's pulling back on the chin. And now you can see Sting just trying to reach down and get to his feet. But he can see how oh, wait a minute. Nice elbows. He's just trying to knock the air out of Kurt Angle. 3 shots in a row and he gets loose.
Angle reverses Sting, shoots him off into the ropes, missed the clothesline, and then both men go for the clothesline. Yes, both connect, and you see the impact of that double clothesline move where both Angle and Sting, champion and challenger, go down.
Referee Rudy Charles already starting the count. And you gotta wonder, you know, this is the kind of match, Mike, it's so big and it's just so, everybody anticipates it. And you know, as being one of the people in that match, mentally, you've got to get yourself so ready for it. That there comes a point where you wonder how much further they could go. And now they both just get to their feet on pure adrenaline and the rights are going one after another.
A weary Sting connects with the right. Now he caught him with another one. Series of shots. Rocks Angle. Angle misses. Sting connects with the boot. Then the chop, then the clothesline.
Look at Sting just fired up. One clothesline after another. Oh, nice boot right to the midsection there by Kurt Angle.
Here comes Angle off the ropes. And Sting spine busters him down.
It's 1, 2, no! The crowd all anticipating a title change, but Kurt Angle able to get that shoulder up. Now look at the pain in Kurt Angle's face.
Here it is.
There goes the Stinger Splash.
Caught him in the corner with the Stinger Splash, but Angle stays on his feet. To the well one more time. This time it's to the back of the champion.
And his chin was resting on the turnbuckle and it put the pressure in. Oh man, he just plants his face right into the mat.
Bulldog style face plant by the challenger Sting. The TNA World Heavyweight Championship belt hangs in the balance. Sting is gonna go high risk, and that shows you just how important this high stakes matchup is. Angle sprints across and suplexes him down.
Unbelievable how quick
Here we
Kurt
go.
Angle. 1, 2, no! Sting gets the shoulder up just in time. How quick was Kurt Angle right there? It's amazing. It looked like he was down and out. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Sting going up, and he got up there so fast it defied logic.
He went to take him up for the Olympic Slam. Sting rolls through. Oh, God, no, only 2.
And Sting was so close, took a wild swing.
Look at the German. And watch Angle maintain his grip because you know that there's more suplexes on the way. Here's number 2.
Oh, he wants to hit him with as many of these as he can just to just rock Sting's world and just get him absolutely, totally knocked out of where he wants to be. Look at that, 3 shots.
You can sense the confidence level as Angle cuts across,
2.
and no! Sting's got the shoulder up as referee Rudy Charles signifies just a 2 count.
I mean, that was so close that time, and it wasn't even a matter of having the ability to get the shoulder up. Kurt Angle had it set so well. Sting almost couldn't get the shoulder up.
Angle gonna go for the ankle lock here. Sting in a tough position as Angle applies the pressure.
You can look at Kurt Angle pulling him back farther into the ring, he knows. And look at Sting trying to twist it.
Nice rollover by Sting to take the pressure off. He's got to use his leg strength here to overpower him, and instead he rolls right across.
Trying to, look at this.
Scorpion,
He's set it
Scorpion.
up.
He's going to try and get him in the Scorpion. He's going to reverse the ankle lock. He's going to turn him around, and he's going to put him in the Scorpion death lock.
Oh, he's got it set perfectly. Kurt Angle's going to tap. Look at it. He's got it applied. He's got it applied. He's stretching it on. Oh, my God. How can Kurt Angle hold on? Wait a minute.
Karen Angle. What about the restraining order? What about the restraining order that Sting has?
Come on. Kurt Angle couldn't have held out any longer. Let's get her out of here.
Oh, no, but look at what she's done. She stopped the momentum of the match. Kevin Nash has come into the ring.
Look at this. Kevin Nash just clothesline Sting. Well, Karen Angle ran interference.
They're obviously taking Karen to the back because of the restraining order. But it was Kevin. Damn it, they got us again. Kevin Nash, he promised that he wouldn't help Angle. Oh, God, Olympic Slam.
Oh, my God. Wait a minute. The referee is making sure that Karen Angle gets set out. And look at this. Kurt Angle screaming at him.
He's calling for the referee because he's got Sting down and out. Charles in, pin, 2.
No, it took too long.
You can see, you can read Angle's lips. He said, "What were you doing?" I think that's Angle's fault because that was his wife that came down here to interfere. And then that Kevin Nash came out of nowhere. And look at Nash circle the ringside area.
I'm telling you, that was a situation that backfired because referee Rudy Charles went to make sure the Karen was taken out. He didn't know what Kevin Nash did. And then when Kurt Angle needed him, he wasn't there. And now Kurt Angle goes up top and Sting fights it off with everything he's got, and he just double smacks the head.
I knew we couldn't trust Karen Angle or Kevin Nash. The meal ticket's down, but the meal ticket gets both knees up as Sting comes off. Here we go.
1, 2. No, yeah, he got it up. He was able to get the shoulder off. Oh my God, that was close.
Life left in the challenger Sting. Angle gonna go back up to his feet. Gonna pick Sting up at the head. And you know that he's gonna put an impactful move. It's a front slam.
Kevin Nash coming out. He knows that Kurt Angle was his meal ticket, and he took Sting out with that clothesline as you see him looking on. And now Kurt Angle has Sting where he wants him in the ring. And look at this, as you can see Kurt fighting it. Oh my God! Oh my God! That was unbelievable. 1, 2. Oh, you got to be kidding me! How did he get the shoulder up after that?
That's the part that's unbelievable. The fact that Sting is able to power out before the 3 count. And how about Angle from the top with the high wrist? And now here's the ankle lock. Oh boy, this is going to be a tough one for Sting. Check out the positioning. Sting's in trouble in the middle of the ring, and Angle's got it. Angle has got the ankle lock cinched in.
Oh, he's got it pulled tight, and you got to wonder, what does Sting have left as he spits in the face? He spits in the face, and then he sends Kurt Angle right into there, head on head. And now Sting struggles, and then Kurt Angle knocks the referee out. Oh, he hits the death drop.
Scorpion death drop. Nash is down. Referee's down. Angle's down. Sting calling for a ref from the back, and we got another backup referee that can come out here.
Somebody get out here. Sting's got it won. Somebody get out here.
You can hear the fans are counting in the building. Referee Andrew Thomas sprints down, slides in,
1,
counts
2.
2.
Oh no, ref.
Damn it.
Look at this, Kevin Nash, and then he cleans his clock.
Yeah, you're not going to get involved. You're not going to watch his back. Your meal ticket. That's exactly what he's done. He's covered his butt. Now Nash comes in right on Sting. Look at Nash. Big right hand for Sting. We haven't seen him physical like this in years.
Oh, what Sting, this is just, the crowd just lets their disapproval. Oh, come on.
All of us, the crowd in Atlanta, the broadcasters here also showing their disapproval as Nash and Angle double team Sting into the ropes.
Somehow he's able to dunk it. Oh, he takes them both out at the same time. Wow, how resilient. He stands tall and he feeds off this crowd.
Right hand decks Nash. Now, get Angle. Oh, what a low blow by Angle. Of course, there's no referee to see that.
Every time it looks like Steve is rising from the grave. Every time they do something underhanded, it's just pissing you off.
Look out
and
for the
now he's
baseball
got
bat.
the bat.
The signature baseball bat of Sting as Angle took the shot and Sting stops it. Sting blocks it. Sting fires back. Back to the gut. Back to the back. Back to the head.
And now Nash tries to come in. And now look at this. Sting uses the ropes. And then the bat. And Kevin Nash falls hard.
Angle. Weary. Angle barely gets up to his feet. Blood is flowing from the head of the challenger.
And the champion. Both of them are bleeding, and he hits the Scorpion death drop.
Rudy Charles, count 1, 2,
He's done it!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, and new TNA Heavyweight Champion of the World, is Sting!
Unbelievable! How was he able to defy the odds? Everything stacked against him, but somehow how Sting reached down. He reached down places where nobody else could go, and he was able to pull out the victory.
He gets his revenge, and he wins the championship in the exact same match. What a great moment for TNA as Sting holds the championship belt high into the air, soaking in this standing ovation in Atlanta, Georgia.
Look at him holding it up. Blood pouring down his face. Everything that you could imagine was sent his way, and he overcame it all. What a great feeling in Atlanta, where he has been and impressed these crowds so many times. He's the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
He returns to his home base, his old stomping grounds, and in the process, he wins the gold. Sting gonna stand in the corner, soak it all in. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed an electric finish to an electric night in Atlanta, Georgia, where Sting has become the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Mike, it's that feeling again. It's Angle, Sting, 2. I mean, you can just feel the hair stand up on your arms. I mean, just thinking about the epic battle that they had and realizing that they're going to do it again. This time, though, Kurt Angle doesn't have the belt. As you see his wife unhappy with the way this whole situation's gone down, following behind. But Kurt Angle is going to have to take every distraction out of his mind, Mike, if he wants to take on the icon Sting, who is in it for personal reasons.
How closely does Angle associate himself with the TNA World's title? To the point that he refers to it as my championship. To the point that he will do anything, and I mean anything, to regain the power, prestige, and control. What an emotional night it was at Bound for Glory in Atlanta, Georgia, when Sting became the TNA World's Heavyweight Champion for a second time. While I'm sure that winning the title in his former hometown at TNA's signature event of the year was important, it was obvious by tonight's pre-match comments that Sting is motivated and driven by more than just that. The opportunity to once again avenge the physical abuse that Angle delivered to Sting's son Garrett on national TV has to be on Sting's mind. He said that every time he has the chance to put his hands on Angle, he flashes back to the helpless feeling he had when he was forced to watch from 3,000 miles away as Angle roughed up his son. Even Karen Angle told Kurt tonight, Sting, that's not a mad wrestler, that's a PO'd parent. To the six-sided ring and Jeremy Borash for the official introduction to the world title match.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the TNA Heavyweight Championship of the World. When the bell rings, the man in charge, TNA senior official, Mr. Rudy Charles. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the combatant standing. To my right, he weighed in at 236 pounds. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, he is professional wrestling's only Olympic gold medalist. This is the challenger, Kurt Angle. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing, weighing in at 245 pounds, from Venice Beach, California, he is the current reigning and defending TNA Heavyweight Champion of the World. This is the Icon, Sting.
Just like in Atlanta, Georgia at Bound for Glory. Don West, you can feel that tension. You can feel the goosebumps. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Sting Angle 2.
You know, normally it's the champion that's the hunted one. It's the champion that has the bullseye on his chest. But in Sting's mind, Kurt Angle's the hunted. Kurt Angle has that target because he put his hands on his family. And Sting just wants to do anything he can to exact that revenge that only a parent, that anger that only a parent can feel.
This is the match that main evented Bound for Glory. Our signature event, our biggest pay-per-view, and yes, our best pay-per-view of 2007. Ladies and gentlemen, this is total non-stop action. This is what separates us from everyone else. This is what TNA does best. Pay-per-view quality main event on Thursday Night Impact.
I mean, it is hard to believe that we're actually here again, this close to Bound for Glory, seeing Sting Angle in the rematch. That feeling when Sting won that title, that emotion that came through the crowd, Mike, it's something I'll never forget as long as I live.
No question. Emotional evening, electric evening as well in Atlanta, Georgia. The reaction of the fans, obviously, to Sting regaining the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And tonight, Sting looks to hold on to the gold. The championship belt on that he's worked so hard to get as Angle puts the shoulder into Sting and goes right away for the pin attempt.
Well, you can see right now they're feeling each other out. Just grabbing a hold and just seeing what the other one's got left over from Bound for Glory. One thing that I worry about with Sting is that he's made this too personal. Maybe he's a little too emotional about everything going on, whereas with Kurt Angle, it's obvious it's all business.
Look at Sting explode off the ropes, puts the shoulder into Angle, and then neutralizes him, takes him back down to the mat, back to the basics with that side headlock takeover.
I mean, he just grabbed him around the head and flipped him over. As you can see, Karen Angle looking on with a look of despair, a look of knowing what her husband's in for tonight with Sting.
Who better than the veteran Sting? Over 20 years, Don, in professional wrestling, who would know how to channel his emotions. You talked about Sting possibly getting too high for a matchup like this against Kurt Angle. Because of the personal feelings involved, I think if there's one individual on the TNA roster, Don, who can remain totally focused, it's somebody like Sting. He's been there on the big stage so many times in the past. So many high-pressure, high-profile matchups. Takes Angle down. Look at Sting off the ropes. The leapfrog by Angle, and then right back to the side headlock.
You know, Mike, you talked about the big stage. No stage was bigger than the biggest pay-per-view in TNA history, Bound for Glory. It started with Ultimate X, where LAX defeated Triple X in the most innovative match in TNA history. And then AJ Styles and Tomko. What a combination. Winning the Tag Team Championship against Team Pac-Man.
And we will see those two teams square off next week on Thursday Night Impact. LAX versus AJ Styles and Tomko for the TNA World Tag Team titles. But also at Bound for Glory. Who can ever forget Abyss winning the Monsters Ball match? And how about Gail Kim making history? First ever TNA Knockout Champion. And the night was crowned by Sting once again gaining the TNA World Heavyweight Championship in his old stomping grounds of Atlanta, Georgia.
I mean, it was just an incredible night from top to bottom, but you couldn't top this. It was just that feel, realizing two of the greatest that has ever walked into a ring, fighting it out for the World Championship, with Sting coming out victorious, and now, less than 2 weeks later, we're witnessing it all again.
Did you ever think that you would see, in the opening minutes of this matchup, Sting out wrestling the Olympic gold medalist wrestler Kurt Angle? But that's exactly what we've seen here. Sting totally in control, and look at Angle out of nowhere. A couple of quick shots to the ribcage, and then he takes him high into the air and crashes him down with the backdrop suplex.
Well, maybe Sting was a little too methodical there for a bit, as Kurt Angle saw the window open just a crack, and he took him down and got the momentum, and now the crowd always fully on the side of Sting, trying to send a message to Kurt Angle, and then what an uppercut. What an uppercut.
European uppercut by Angle. Totally rocked Sting. You saw his head snap back as the back of his head made contact with the canvas. look of confidence as the challenger quickly takes control of the match. Sets Sting up in the corner, measures him. First it's the big right hand, then repeated boots to the midsection. Shot after shot, just kicking him right in the gut, and now takes the boot and puts it right across the side of the face of Sting, and trying also at the same time to cut off his wind, putting that boot on the neck of the champ.
And you can see him grabbing onto those ropes, too, to get extra torque. You can just see it. His face is... Right now, Kurt Angle's doing everything that he wants. Another uppercut. Oh! Look at Sting grab him in that spine buster. I thought he was teetering, but he was waiting, and he saw his moment, and he just creamed Kurt Angle.
You saw it like I did. Desperation move by Sting to take Angle down, power him down with that spine buster, but boy, it sure has paid off, because the complexion of this match once again switches to the champ. Sting in control now again. After the series of boots, Sting's gonna go for the suplex, and he just snaps it off. Elevates Angle over. Follow cover. Here's two only. Leg strength of Angle enables him to power out.
I mean, it's just fun watching the mind games that these two play. It looked to me like Kurt Angle totally in control, and now look at the turnaround. And Sting bringing the rights right down on the head as the crowd counts on 7, 8, 9, and 10. Sting right now in total control of this match. Wait a minute, here comes Kevin Nash. Things have just gotten worse for Kurt Angle.
Nash promised that he wanted to watch Sting kick Angle's butt. More of Sting versus Angle for the TNA World title on Thursday Night Impact. And we're back on Thursday Night Impact with the biggest matchup that we've ever had. The TNA World's Heavyweight Championship, Sting and Kurt Angle, and Angle belly to belly, overhead release, suplex leads to a 2 count.
Kurt Angle upset as Kevin Nash looking on with a concerned look.
This is what went down during the commercial break. For a split second, Sting lost his focus when he went to check on Kevin Nash, and that was the opening that Kurt Angle, the challenger, needed.
But did you notice what Kevin Nash did? When Sting went outside the ring, Kevin Nash made a point of getting up, walking away, and sending a message to Kurt Angle that he is not going to be there to help him.
Out of nowhere, Sting connects with a desperation DDT, spiking Angle down to the canvas as referee Rudy Charles puts in the count, and Kevin Nash looks on.
He's got a concerned look, and you wonder who's going to be the first one to get to their feet as the count now is all the way to 8. But almost simultaneously, Angle and Sting, and then the clothesline, and another clothesline by Sting.
He's got that tunnel vision back again. He's got his focus. Running clothesline, takes Angle up and over the top and down to the floor at the feet of his wife, Karen.
Oh, and you can see the momentum switching as Kevin Nash again looks on, and you can see that he is in no way, shape, or form, Mike, coming to Kurt Angle's aid out here in the ring.
Now, Sting flings Angle chest first into the safety rail, right into that steel guardrail, and now face first into the steel steps.
I just creamed his face right into the steps, right into the ring post. But you can see right there the counter by Kurt Angle raking the ice, and then flings him right on Kevin Nash. Wow. You can see Sting right there just cold caught Kevin Nash, and now he comes right back at Kurt Angle.
You know, I can't blame Sting one bit. After that interference by Kevin Nash at Bound for Glory, it was almost like a defense mechanism. Sting just protecting himself, and he hits the Stinger Splash in the corner.
But in that case, Kevin Nash didn't do anything. He just landed on top of him. Nash didn't hit him at all. Oh, what a shot by Kurt Angle.
Suplex by Angle. Takes Sting overhead as Nash slowly makes his way up to his feet right here in front of us.
Well, you can see it's kind of smoldering there as he realizes the shot that Sting gave him right in the mouth as Kurt Angle right now gets to his feet, and he's trying to get himself charged up to try to finish Sting right here.
Angle gonna go for the scoop. Attempt at a tombstone pile driver. Let's see if Sting can fight him off. And he does. Sting takes him up. Sting pile driver attempt, and it's countered. Reversed into that ankle lock by Angle.
Kurt Angle's got it cinched in as he's gonna try to make Sting tap Sting. What a counter. He just rolls it over and sends the boot into Angle to get him off of him.
Here comes the Olympic slam. No, Sting floats over. Double leg takedown. He's got the scorpion if he can step over. Step over and sit down with the submission hold.
And he's got him right in the middle of the ring. And he's got it cinched in. As you can see, Kurt Angle's fighting the pain.
He's on the verge of tapping out.
He's gonna tap right here, and you see Sting pointing at Nash. Don't you dare come in this ring. He's gonna end it. And now Nash gets up to the ring apron.
What the hell's this? What's Nash doing up here? Oh no! Big right hand by Sting rocks Nash.
In Sting's mind, it's the same thing in Bound for Glory, and then Kurt Angle rams, and look at this!
Here it is.
Olympic Slam! He just nailed the Olympic Slam!
The Olympic Slam, the move that has won Kurt Angle so many matches and so many championships throughout his career. But the referee's knocked down. Calls for another ref. Earl Hebner in. No!
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the new TNA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Kurt Angle!
Oh, this is BS.
This is disgusting! I cannot believe we're gonna see a title change with that crap that was pulled by Kevin Nash. Unbelievable! He came up to the ring apron where he didn't belong, and it cost Sting.
Let's take another look. The moment of truth has arrived. The man who brought the Main Event Mafia together, Kurt Angle, feels that the only way that they would be brought down was if it happened from the inside. He squarely places the blame for these problems on Sting. Angle claims he's taking a stand for the Main Event Mafia, and you get the distinct impression he feels there's not enough room for both him and Sting to coexist. The entrance of Sting and the empty Impact Zone fight, it's next. As the TNA fans look on from outside the Impact Zone, the differences between Kurt Angle and Sting have reached the point that we've come to this. Two men who are going to resolve their issues by beating the hell out of each other. And there you see Kevin Nash, Scott Steiner, Main Event Mafia security, watching a monitor at the goal position at the base of the entrance tunnel.
You just feel this powder keg. It's just getting ready to burst. You know that, right? You know that.
And what an exchange right at the start of this fight, with Sting getting the upper hand and then clotheslining Angle out to the floor.
You could just hear Sting just screaming, Kurt Angle, I'm gonna kill you. As you can just feel this just boiling over and over and over as he throws him into the chairs.
Look out, Sting takes Angle and drives him headfirst into the wall.
You could just tell by the sound of everything and just the intensity level.
Boy, the intensity of Kurt Angle, never more apparent than those shots. Punch after punch, and he's got Sting in trouble.
Just relentless. Nice counter there by Sting, trying to get things going back his way. Every shot just has such meaning to it.
And all of a sudden, Doc, Sting has turned this thing around. He got caught by so many punches by Angle. I didn't think he was going to be able to come back, but all of a sudden, Kurt right back on the offense here. Oh, you can just feel it. You hear it reverberate all throughout this empty Impact Zone. And again with Angle going headfirst into the wall.
You son of a bitch!
And with every blow that lands, you wonder how this fight between Sting and Angle will affect the future of the Main Event Mafia.
part of the impact zone is off limits. As Kurt Angle just grabbing Sting by the hair and hauling him up here to the top.
Just like we expected, just like we anticipated, Sting and Angle beating the hell out of each other.
Whoa, look at this. Kurt's in a bad spot and Sting. Whoa! Oh, man, he just fell on the concrete.
Keith, is there any way we can take another look at this? How long can this fight continue between Sting and Kurt Angle?
Kurt Angle's unbelievable. He just fell 15 feet to the concrete. There's no quit.
I hate you!
Just relentless. Kurt Angle just doesn't stop. He's just so focused on ending this. Whoa! Sting just threw him over the rail.
You know, after months of domination here in TNA, I think it's become apparent, it's become obvious, the only way that the Main Event Mafia is going to be taken down is if they implode, if they blow up from the inside. And that's exactly what we're seeing here tonight.
Oh, low blow.
All right, you son of a bitch. I am gonna end your career. You're a stupid son of a bitch. No, Sting. Come on, man. Don't do it, man. I'm gonna take your head off. Don't do it, Sting. You deserve this. Don't do it, man. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Please don't do it. Sting, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're not sorry. I'm sorry, Sting. I swear to God. You're not begging good enough, Kurt. I'm sorry, Sting. Please. Please. You're not take it like a man. I got kids, Sting. I got kids. Don't do it, Sting. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's a bunch of bull, Kurt. I'm sorry. We cool? Are we cool? Go ahead. Go ahead. Hit me. Come on, bitch. Hit me. What are you, a Come on. Hit me, Sting. Hit me. Yeah. No. Sting, come on, man. Kurt, come on. You gotta be kidding me. Come on, man. That's enough. That's enough. What the hell did you say? What the hell did you say? Huh? As long as we were family, nothing can get between us. Is this a family? I hate his guts. What the hell is it? We're dysfunctional. Make this right. Make this right. Put your hand out. Damn it, make this right. Come on. Shake his hand, Kurt. Come on. Son of a bitch. Make it right. I can do it. I can do it. Are you man enough to do it? You said no matter what, after against all odds, everything would be good. No matter what. Family! Family! Make it right, man. Make it right. Yeah! Oh, God, man. Thanks, guys. Easy. Oh, come on! I hate you! I hate you! Come on! I'm gonna kill you!
Don't go anywhere! We'll be right back!
Come on! Stay here! Special referee, TNA founder, the King of the Mountain, Jeff Jarrett!
You know, I know he's the founder of TNA, and I know that his integrity was brought in question, but there's not any one of us that aren't going to be watching Jeff Jarrett and his actions tonight, especially with his history with Kurt Angle.
And introducing the special enforcer, the executive shareholder, and the hardcore legend, Mick Foley!
It was just 3 nights ago on Impact when Mick Foley sat at this broadcast table with me, and Mick Foley was attacked from behind by the lead pipe of Scott Steiner. Mick Foley received 7 stitches in his head, and Mick Foley made it very clear that he felt that none other than Kurt Angle was the one that called for the hit. Scott Steiner merely carried it out. And there you see, flanked by Main Event Mafia security, the challenger, the Olympic gold medalist, and Kurt Angle is on his way into the impact zone.
Well, you heard him. As you see these guys follow him, you heard him. He said he's coming out here alone. We'll see.
History may judge this man as the greatest wrestler ever to enter the ring. 12-time world champion. The second man ever to win TNA's Triple Crown. The first man to hold all 3 TNA championships simultaneously. And he is the only Olympic gold medalist ever in the history of professional wrestling. Intense and determined, he is the challenger, Kurt Angle.
Back in the Main Event Mafia locker room area, he was accompanied by Rocco and Sal. Big Rocco and Sally Boy, Main Event Mafia. But true to his word, as Kurt Angle, the challenger, enters the impact zone for the title match at Destination X, he is alone.
I'll tell you what, he's a man. He's got courage and he knows what a statement it would make. He knows the odds are stacked against him. He knows his 3-on-1, but what a victory it'll be.
Angle's in the ring. The icon, the reigning TNA World Heavyweight Champion, is making the walk. He's headed towards the arena area for one of the biggest matches of his career.
A champion, a main eventer, an icon. He is the man simply known as Sting. 3 times, he has won the World Heavyweight Championship at Bound for Glory, and his legend continues to grow. He is the reigning TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He is Sting.
I think the realization is set in to both champion and challenger that the time has arrived to determine the future of TNA and the Main Event Mafia.
You know, so many people think that Jeff Jarrett and Mick Foley are going to get Sting away from the Main Event Mafia, that it's better for Sting to be away from the Main Event Mafia. And you know what? That's probably what they're doing, but I'm telling you, I believe this, that in Sting's mind, he wants to be the leader of the Main Event Mafia. He wants to be the one that all the others look up to the most. And that's why, to him, it's so important that he gets this victory tonight over Kurt Angle.
Big match excitement at Destination X leads us to Jeremy Borash for the official introductions of our main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is your main event of the evening for the TNA Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing, first of all, your officials tonight as the special guest enforcer at ringside, ladies and gentlemen, the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing your special guest referee for the evening, the founder of TNA Wrestling and the king of the mountain, Jeff Jarrett. And now, live from Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida, it's time for your Destination X main event of the evening. Introducing the participants. Standing, first of all, in the corner to my left, weighing in this morning at 230 pounds, and coming to us from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He is professional wrestling's only Olympic gold medalist. He is the leader of the Main Event Mafia and the #1 contender for the TNA Heavyweight Championship of the World. This is Kurt Angle. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing, standing in the corner to my right. He weighed in this morning at 260 pounds and comes to us from Venice Beach, California. Also representing the Main Event Mafia, he is the current reigning and defending TNA Heavyweight Champion of the World. He is the Icon, Sting.
You look back at the careers of both champion and challenger. The resumes of the Icon Sting and Kurt Angle have so many high-pressure, high-profile matches. But when you consider what's at stake, not only the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, but the future of this entire organization and the faction known as the Main Event Mafia, and you realize just how important this match, this showdown is between Sting and Angle.
You know, another thing is just seeing that star power that was just out there before this match got started, seeing Mick Foley and Jeff Jarrett, and in the capacity that they're going to be in, Kurt and Sting. I mean, this is a big-time feel. I mean, you can feel the importance of what this belt's all about here tonight, not just being the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, but having all the stroke in the Main Event Mafia and having all the say.
Jarrett as special referee, Foley as ringside enforcer. They're here for law and order. They're here to ensure that the best man, be it Sting or be it Kurt Angle, leaves Destination X with that World Heavyweight Championship belt. Opening offense by Angle is a series of punches and then kicks in the corner. Sting, drill, shot off into the turnbuckles, but he's able to get his boot up and does as Angle comes right at him and stops the offense, and now it's time for Sting to turn it around.
You know, Kurt Angle is going to have to do something really incredible here tonight. He's got to just pretend that's a normal referee and pretend that Mick Foley's not out there. Concentrate on one thing and one thing only, and that's Sting. And I know that's hard to do, especially if you're Kurt Angle and the history that you've had with Jeff Jarrett and the history recently that you've had with Mick Foley. But that's what you've got to do, and right now Sting, I think, realizes that Kurt's kind of looking all around in different directions, and Sting's using it to his advantage.
As we broke down the tail of the tape, you saw the size advantage for the champion Sting, and he uses that advantage to his edge right here, overpowering Angle and down to the floor, and now Angle and Mick Foley have words at ringside.
I'll tell you what, though, to me that was almost Mick Foley kind of intimidating Kurt Angle there. You know, there's no Main Event Mafia out here. There's no point. Just you're there in case they do, but, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Kurt knows where he's at. He can hear the counts. He knows what's going on. Again, that's another one of them situations that just make me a little wary of what's going on.
A tentative Angle as he came back into the ring through the ropes. Almost a feeling out process here, and it's Angle attacking a different offense from the Olympic gold medalist. The punches and kicks. And you can see that Sting is not quite prepared for this kind of an offense from Angle. That kind of a move he should be. The European uppercut, followed by being shot off into the ropes, and Sting is able to elevate Angle, and that's not a good landing.
Not somebody that's had the back problems and the neck problems that Kurt has. I mean, my gosh, he was up there in Ultimate X territory and landed, and it jars you when you land on your feet. Sting obviously going to just continue on, but Kurt Angle, if he comes through from shots like that, I mean, that just shows you what the guy's made of. But wow, Sting sent him flying in the air.
As Sting takes Angle from one side of the arena to the other, repeatedly driving him midsection first into the steel guardrail and flashing back to that empty arena match of several weeks ago.
So brutal, so vicious. You felt the hatred. You felt the hatred that night like you've never felt it between two people. And even when you thought it was resolved, Kurt knew that it couldn't be, that it had to come to this right here, right now. And you know what? You got to think about all of that and what happened. What Kurt's ultimate goal was to get this match with Sting one-on-one so that he could get that belt. Because when you're the leader of the Main Event Mafia, it means a lot more if you've got that belt by your side.
Angle favoring his back after being shot into the wall by Sting. That's one of those blows that you're going to have to think about down the line, because there's always the potential for Sting to apply a submission hold like the Scorpion, which would work on the back of the challenger, Kurt Angle.
Yeah, great point. I mean, that's something that if he gets it in and gets it cinched in, I don't care who you are. Kurt, though, we've seen him defy all odds so many times. I mean, really, I think he's the greatest in the world. You look back in history of all the people we've seen in that ring, I don't care who you are. He's in the discussion. He's in your top 5. And in my mind, when you look at his Olympic background, this guy, pound for pound, is the best we've ever seen. But then you've got that experience that Sting brings to the table, and when you are the world champion, you always give a little extra to keep that belt. So Kurt's going to have his work cut out for him, obviously.
Angle fights through the pain, connects with a suplex, then unleashes the series of kicks. The striking of Kurt Angle, followed by a suplex, and the takeover leads to a pin. Referee Jarrett down for the count, but 2 only. And you see the eye contact made between Angle and Jarrett at that point, and there was no question that the cadence of the count of special referee Jeff Jarrett was right on the money.
Yeah, you can't argue with it. You know Kurt probably doesn't feel that way, and that's just because of that past and that hatred that he has for Double J. But I'll tell you something I've noticed. When they're in the ring, it seems like Kurt Angle has the edge. When we've seen him outside of the ring and it became more of a brawl, it seemed like Sting had the edge, using that size and strength in those quarters. But Kurt right now, inside here, just seems to have a little bit of an edge, and he's got a hold, and wow, talk about releasing somebody. He sent Sting flying.
Suplex, pin, 2 count only. You saw Sting try to use the power. He tried to bum rush Angle that time. But what Kurt did was grab on with all of his life, and then the suplex leads to the near fall, and now Angle with the backbreaker right into a pin. Here's 2, and no, just 2.
You know, again, you got to give Jarrett credit. Those counts are not slow by any scope of the imagination. They're right on. So you can't sit there and hold that against him if you're Kurt. You just got to do what you're doing. But the bottom line is Kurt's dominating right now. He's doing what he wants to do, and he's doing it in a way that's sending a message to Sting that, you know what, I'm the best in the world right now, and I'm in total control of this matchup, and he has been super impressive here in the last few minutes.
While Angle continues his wear down of Sting, if you know your wrestling history, you know that Jeff Jarrett, this isn't the first time that he's worn the referee's shirt. Very, very early on, even before his professional career started, Jeff Jarrett was a referee. Quickly shot off into the ropes as Angle. Swinging and miss with the clothesline by Sting. They meet in mid-ring. They both go for the cross-body block. They both connect with impact, and both champ and challenger go down.
I don't know that he's ever refereed a match, though, that had this much importance, that had this much at stake. I mean, you mentioned there's a company on the line. It really is. Just because of the power that the Main Event Mafia wields. And it's one of those where these two, both want to be the leader of that group. Both of them right now struggling to get to their feet.
At the 6 count, Sting and Angle both are up to their feet and both meet and both exchange. Let's see who gets the best of it here.
Just trading blows. Both of them trying to get momentum. Kurt decides to forget the punches and go for the kicks, but right now both of them, you can see they're tired. They've been so mentally focused for this for so long that it's just got to be tough.
Follow move in the corner as Angle comes out as a clothesline. Then a running lariat and another by Sting. Angle gets knocked down, but each time gets right back up to his feet. Shot off again into the turnbuckle. Stinger splash in the corner. Big power move by the champ. Gonna go for a suplex on Angle. Snaps him over. Let's see if the pin is next. It is. It's 2 and 2 only.
So close there. You could almost feel it. It feels like Jeff cheering Sting on, realizing that Sting was close to the pin. I mean, this means so much to Jeff.
How about that arm drag by Sting as the counter to the Angle slam, and then takes Angle high up into the air and just overwhelms him with the power bomb. Jarrett, pin count 2 only. Angle gets the shoulder before 3.
Wow, that was close. Kurt Angle, though, just reflex. That was absolutely pure instinct. I mean, that's just not something anybody has. That was so close. The Sting.
Scorpion death drop.
Oh, look at this. He's going to get the ankle.
Right in to Angle's patented submission hold, the ankle lock. But you see that the champ has the perfect counter, using his free leg to kick him off. Here's a German. Grip maintained. That suplex number 1 by Angle. This is a big man and Sting, both height and weight advantage, but it's almost like Angle doesn't even sense that or worry about it. It's suplex number 2, and he's still holding on.
And I tell you what, it's a move he always uses to get the momentum going back in his direction. He felt it was slipping away. Let's face it, that last 3 count was so close. This is what Kurt Angle does. When he gets a chance and he gets a hold of you, he'll hit you with 3 of these. Oh, man, Sting barely got the shoulder up in time there. It was just, you could just tell by the effort he barely had anything left in him. You got to give him credit, so he got it up.
Angle slam attempt again. Instead, Sting lands on his feet. The short punches followed by a Stinger splash attempt. Angle gets out of the way, and there it is. Connects with the Angle slam. Here we go. Could have a new champ. Here's 1. Here's 2.
Sting left no doubt. He got the shoulder up quickly on that before that 3rd count, left no doubt. But you can sense things turning right now. Kurt Angle looking at Jeff explaining to him what the situation was.
And you can sense frustration on the part of Angle when you hit the Angle slam and you don't put Sting away. Almost as if the first person he turned to blame was Jarrett. Then he realizes he's got to go back with a moonsault on top of Sting. Here's another pin. Here's another 1, 2, and no.
Oh my gosh, that was close. Holy cow. Kurt Angle, unbelievable effort tonight. Basically, constantly worrying about what Jeff Jarrett and Mick Foley might do, is just somehow kept his eye on the ball. And I mean, here he is, so close himself to getting pinned. Now he's turned this thing around. Uh-oh.
Scorpion death drop on the quick reversal. Now it's Sting on top of Angle for 2.
It's like both of these guys, and I'm going to say this, they just refuse to lose, Mike Tenay. They refuse to lose. They pick up the cadence of that count. They hear it 1, 2, and I mean, they just somehow use that reflex to get that shoulder up at the last second. How close has this been already?
As special referee, TNA founder Jeff Jarrett employs the count. You see that both Sting and Angle are trying to regroup both mentally and physically at this point. Oh my. Contact made with the referee as Sting dropped down. The clothesline that was intended for Sting instead takes out Jeff Jarrett.
And it was an accident.
Here comes the Scorpion. Here comes the Scorpion deathlock as ringside enforcer Mick Foley is checking on Jeff Jarrett.
Well, Mick Foley checking to see if Jeff's all right, and it was an accident. I mean, there was no doubt it was.
Look at this tap. Look at this tap by Angle. Angle's tapping out.
It's not a tap if it's not seen. It's not a tap if it's not seen, but you know, that's one of those situations there where Sting was in the wrong place. Kurt Angle, there was no way he could have avoided Jeff Jarrett.
And as Sting goes to check on Jarrett, it's Angle from behind with the Angle slam.
He tells Foley to come over and make the count. The enforcer counts 1, counts 2. No, Sting gets the shoulder up. Just that close, says Foley.
Kurt Angle so close to becoming the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and now he's looking at Mick Foley, and it felt like Mick Foley may have been, he was a lot slower than Jeff was on some of those counts. Well, I mean, it's too much to have these three guys out there at all times. You feel like you never have a chance.
The low blow by Foley, to Foley by Kurt Angle, and now here comes Kurt Angle over to pick up a steel chair. You can see the bodies laid out in the ring. The champion Sting is down. The ringside enforcer Foley, as well as special referee Jeff Jarrett, and now steel chair being raised by Angle, and Mick Foley stops him.
Mick Foley now, you see Sting behind him. Mick Foley's got the chair.
No!
Mick Foley just crashed Sting in the head.
By accident! Foley hit Sting by accident, and then Foley receives the Angle slam from Kurt Angle.
I'll tell you what, I know you say accident, but anytime you've got Foley with a chair, anything can happen.
Counts 1,
Yeah, here it is.
And no!
Come on! How slow can a count be?
How slow can it be? The man was just knocked out by Kurt Angle. He's revived, and through the cobwebs, Jarrett tries to make the count, but you can't deny that Sting avoided 3.
Give him credit for getting the shoulder up in time, especially after Mick Foley took that shot at him with the chair. Didn't know Foley had it in him. But you can see now the argument going on. Yeah, I mean, Kurt Angle cannot believe that he didn't get the 3 count.
And Angle, like we saw before to Sting, the total lack of respect to Jarrett, spits in the face of the founder. Jarrett with the punch. Scorpion death drop. Here's 2. Here's 3. Sting keeps the title.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner is still TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the Icon Sting!
TNA founder Jeff Jarrett counts 3 and hands the championship belt to Sting. Sting's hand raised in victory, as well by ringside enforcer Mick Foley. And ladies and gentlemen, tonight at Destination X, the Icon Sting is still the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And you just have to wonder about the problems in the Main Event Mafia. Think of the situation between Kurt Angle and Sting, as we see Angle turning his attention towards Jeff Jarrett as Jarrett goes up the ramp.
What's wrong with you, man? Why can't you mind your own business? You son of a bitch, you did it again. And then you got
Finger of blame pointed at Jeff Jarrett, and you have to wonder if the problems in the Main Event Mafia aren't worse than ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a King of the Mountain qualifying match. It is scheduled for 1 fall. Introducing first, representing the Main Event Mafia from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He is professional wrestling's only Olympic gold medalist. He is Kurt Angle.
Put yourself in Kurt Angle's position, and it's no wonder his focus is not 100% on tonight's King of the Mountain qualifier against Sting, when Angle should be concentrating on a match against the man who pinned him at Sacrifice to take away his role as leader, godfather of the Main Event Mafia, when Angle should have tunnel vision on adding his name to the list of challengers for Slammiversary. He's thinking about Samoa Joe because he's realized with Nash, Steiner, and Booker all taken out, the hit list is down to 1.
His opponent also represents the Main Event Mafia. He's from Venice Beach, California. He is the Icon Sting!
Well, we know Mick Foley's not happy about being forced to defend the TNA World Heavyweight Championship at Slammiversary. And when you look at his opponents, Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, you understand why. And now we fill the 4th and final slot with either Sting or Kurt Angle, and then you realize that that title match is under King of the Mountain rules, and you begin to understand why Mick Foley might be thinking that his days as TNA World Heavyweight Champion just might be numbered.
As we look at the last two members of the Main Event Mafia that are still standing right now, I think what Mick Foley did was pretty smart in its own way. He was able to get rid of some alliances. By having AJ have to take on Daniels, that got rid of one of those. By having Sting have to take on Kurt Angle, that's getting rid of one of those. So what that does is it sets up 5 guys in the ring, basically every man for himself, and it knocks out some alliances that you might have to worry about if you're the champion.
You know, with Kevin Nash, Booker T, Scott Steiner, all taken out by Samoa Joe and the Nation of Violence, maybe Sting should reconsider that free agent offer by the Blueprint Matt Morgan.
Well, I think if Kurt Angle was the Godfather, I think he would consider it really strongly. We know how impressed he was with Matt Morgan after that matchup a couple weeks ago, but with Sting, I don't know. I mean, you don't know what he's thinking. He's got this vision of what the Main Event Mafia is supposed to be, and I don't know that Matt Morgan fits.
Yeah, and it looked to me like Sting was a little hesitant when it came to offering Matt Morgan any kind of a position with the Main Event Mafia. I think in Sting's mind, Morgan not showing the respect that Sting feels he should, and Morgan thought that he didn't fit the Main Event Mafia criteria.
Right now, I'm just watching that body language of Kurt Angle, and will he be able to concentrate solely on this matchup? Because in the back of his mind, he's got to be wondering, where's Samoa Joe? Is he going to blindside me? Joe doesn't follow any rules right now, so you have to wonder what he's going to do at any point in time.
Yeah, but at the same time, who is mentally tougher than the Olympic gold medalist? If there is that one individual on the TNA roster who you would think would be able to shut out all the interference and all the other things that are going on and totally concentrate on the task at hand, the main event, King of the Mountain qualifying match against Sting, you'd have to say that one person would be Kurt Angle.
You know he's not afraid of him. He just wants to be able to look him in the eye and see him coming. And that's the thing that he's going to have to do with Samoa Joe. Right now, though, I think the heat of the battle, I mean, he just goes into that wrestling mode. I mean, you can see Sting obviously looking at him with concern, knowing that Kurt Angle can easily advance to the King of the Mountain.
And they lock it up once again, collar and elbow. This time, Sting grabs the side headlock. Gonna try and neutralize Angle, maintain his position, dead center in the middle of the ring. At the same time, Angle gonna try and shoot him off and does. Sting puts the shoulder block into Angle, back off the ropes, catches him once again, and wisely, Angle wants to slow down the offense of the Icon. And while Kurt Angle takes a break, we will too. More of Kurt Angle and Sting, King of the Mountain qualifier, up next on Impact. And we are back on Impact. More of our main event, King of the Mountain qualifying matchup. We know to this point that Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, and Samoa Joe are 3 of the 4 challengers for Mick Foley's TNA World Heavyweight title in Detroit at Slammiversary. And we're about to determine who that 4th and final challenger is going to be. Is it going to be Kurt Angle or is it going to be Sting?
Well, one thing about that King of the Mountain match, you see the pin and tipped here, is it's such a unique type of match, Mike, today. I mean, think about what that match entails. You have to pin somebody or make somebody submit before you become eligible. If you're that person that was pinned or submitted, you're in the penalty box for a couple of minutes. And then, once you're eligible, you have to find the opportunity to get that championship belt, climb the ladder, and hang it above the ring to become the King of the Mountain.
And 2 of those King of the Mountain matches upcoming at Slammiversary, unprecedented, first time ever, the 2 title matches under King of the Mountain rules as both Mick Foley's world title and Suicide's X Division Championship are going to be at stake under those King of the Mountain rules. And how about Sting turning this thing around and totally in his favor? Sting going to the big punches, the big offense here, and he's got Angle in trouble outside.
He's got Angle reeling. I mean, these 2 guys know each other so well. You think of the bitter feud that they've had here. Stinger splash! Oh, he misses.
You talked about how well they know each other. Angle avoids him, and then Angle slam on Sting. Kurt kind of slow to recover, goes for the pin. Here's 1, here's 2, no.
He just wasn't able to get there fast enough to get the pin attempt, and you mentioned he was a little slow there, but the bottom line is it's the kind of move that can turn things around for Kurt Angle.
And that's exactly what it has done. brings Sting out to the middle of the ring. Drops him across the knee with the backbreaker and yet another near fall. Right back on him, another cover. And you can start to sense a little bit of frustration when you see the reactions of Kurt Angle towards the referee, Rudy Charles, and the very, very close near 3 counts.
Sometimes when you're dealing with high stress, like Kurt Angle is in the Samoa Joe situation, you can take that and channel it. Use it to your advantage. You can take that anger out on your opponent, and I think that's kind of what Kurt Angle's doing right now. He's got himself in pure wrestling mindset.
Wear down process from the Olympic gold medalist continues. Sting going to try and get back up to his feet. He accomplishes that. Back up to the vertical base. Reels off the offense. Series of elbows. Going to try and send him across, but Angle's there to counter. And here comes a released overhead belly-to-belly suplex done to perfection.
I mean, just that quickly, he's taking control again. Another pin attempt, as he doesn't waste any. Another one! Again, Sting able to fight it off.
We had questioned the focus of Kurt Angle because of the actions of Samoa Joe. I don't think you can question it anymore. Angle has been so close on so many occasions to beating Sting and moving into that main event at Slammiversary. After this commercial break, more of Kurt Angle and Sting on Impact. Back on Impact, continuation of our main event, King of the Mountain qualifier, the Icon Sting against Kurt Angle, and Angle able to get the boot as Sting charged in the corner. Both men go for the clothesline, both connect, and both go down. You know, it's so interesting to look at the differences between Sting and Kurt Angle as the leaders of the Main Event Mafia. When Angle was in charge, so ego-driven. You know he can be a hothead at times.
I'll tell you what, Mike, maybe a hothead at times, maybe ego-driven, but the bottom line was, when he was the leader of the Main Event Mafia, didn't have 3 guys on the shelf like you got now in Nash, Steiner, and Booker T.
You know, at the same time, I reflect back to that interview that I had with the Main Event Mafia last week, and I think of how when Kurt Angle was getting so fired up, so worked up, that Sting was there as the voice of reason. Sting was there as the calming influence, and it's Sting connecting with a series of those running clotheslines.
Well, you have to have a little bit of both. I think you have to have some hot-headedness, some force, some strength, but you also have to have reason that Sting brings. They've got to find a balance. Right now, like I mentioned earlier, they're the only 2 guys in the Main Event Mafia standing, and only one of them is going to go to King of the Mountain.
2 stinger splashes in the corner, followed by the suplex, followed by the cover. No! Boy, just that close to Sting adding his name to Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, and Samoa Joe against Mick Foley at Slammiversary. But look at the recovery by Angle, the quick go behind, catches him with suplex 1, suplex 2. That time you saw the back of Sting's head just bounce off the canvas.
Here's the
third one.
I'll tell you what, we know how bad Sting wants to get into King of the Mountain. We know he's always said that he wants to get that belt back from Mick Foley. He wants to bring it back to the Main Event Mafia. But Kurt Angle's the same way. He knows the power that belt brings. Gonna try to take him up for another Angle slam. Couldn't do it. This could be the Scorpion.
And look at the counter, the block by Angle, and he ends up with his patented submission move. The Kurt Angle ankle lock is applied.
You make one mistake, you make one hesitation, and Kurt Angle will find a way to get that ankle locked in, cinched in, and he's on his feet too. And look at the power that he's got. But a wow, Sting able to counter it.
Rolls through, and the momentum carries Angle into the corner. Doubled over with the boot. Sting gonna take him up, and the power bomb by Sting. He just falls forward, right on top. Almost the exhaustion leads to a pin.
How close was that? I just don't think Sting had quite enough oomph to finish him off. You could see that he was still tired from the last move, but now he's getting it back. Wait a minute. Did you see Kurt bull rushing him into the corner?
Went for that Scorpion death drop, and Angle instead turns it around with shoulder blocks. Here he comes. Sting moves out of the way, and Angle goes all the way through, and Angle's shoulder hit the steel post.
That's just another example of these 2 knowing each other so well. And Matt Morgan coming out to the ring. What on earth is that for? As you see the Scorpion death drop hit by Sting.
And Sting's got the pin, but the referee's being distracted by the Blueprint Matt Morgan, who's made it known that he wants to join the Main Event Mafia.
Not the time and the place to come out here, as you see Sting going over, giving a piece of his mind, but that allows Kurt Angle to get up.
Oh, and from outside, Matt Morgan just hit Sting. He dazed Sting from the apron, and there's the Angle slam.
Here's his chance to finish him off. 1, 2.
He
Kurt
did it!
Angle goes on.
Here is your winner, Kurt Angle!
But I think that the blueprint, Matt Morgan, was the difference maker.
Well, he was standing on the ring apron, and Sting, I think, bumped into him, and it kind of cost him a little bit. He hesitated. You can see Matt Morgan. Look at the look in Kurt Angle's face. As this is a situation, I think he's realizing that maybe Matt Morgan had something to do with his outcome.
I agree. Almost as if the light bulb just went on for Kurt Angle. I believe up to that point, Kurt thought that he beat Sting without any interference, and he is refusing to allow the blueprint to raise his hand.
Well, Kurt Angle's got pride. He doesn't need someone to help him beat Sting in his mind, and you see now Matt Morgan thinking he was doing the right thing in Kurt's eyes, but it's obviously pissed Kurt off.
Olympic gold medalist not happy with Matt Morgan, but he advances. Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Kurt Angle against Mick Foley at Slammiversary.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your TNA Impact Feature Contest, a non-title grudge match inside the 6 sides of steel, scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, the Godfather of the Main Event Mafia, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He is professional wrestling's only Olympic gold medalist and the TNA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Kurt
Say strongly enough how important this Sunday's Victory Road pay-per-view will be as the World Heavyweight Champion Kurt Angle comes by the broadcast position to stare you down. I mean, the future direction of the entire TNA organization on the line, and to me, the most important match in Victory Road is going to be that World Heavyweight title matchup with Kurt Angle and Mick Foley.
Without a doubt, Professor.
His opponent from Venice Beach, California, ladies and gentlemen, the Icon Sting!
Sting's unfinished business, his opportunity for revenge, it starts tonight against Kurt Angle in the 6 sides of steel. It continues Sunday at Victory Road when he goes one-on-one with Samoa Joe. And Jeff, under the circumstances, I think you have to sympathize with the situation that the Icon is in, especially as it relates to the Main Event Mafia, no matter how much Kurt Angle and company want to portray it as a business decision, not a personal one.
Well, in this business, it can always get real personal real quick, and that's exactly what's happened. You know, I'm sitting here hyped up about this Sunday, but right now, this is almost the first main event of 4 to come. We'll have 3 on Sunday, but right now we got 1, because this literally could shift the balance of power or the beginning of it.
I know you have had second thoughts when it comes to bringing both Mick Foley and Kurt Angle to TNA, but it seems to me like your relationship with Mick Foley is certainly improving, and it also looks like Foley is committed to the overall good of TNA, the future of this organization, instead of just selfishly looking to once again become World Heavyweight Champion.
A couple of weeks ago, I said, I'd love to have Mick Foley show up every day to work, but sometimes the crazy man, but sometimes the Cactus Jack shows up, the demented one, and then that's what gets us into a situation, quite frankly, sometimes I'm not smart enough to get out of.
I'll tell you what, Jeff, you're saying it and I'm thinking it at the same time, but you're right. We don't know which Mick Foley's going to show up.
I mean, that's almost the beauty, though, of Mick Foley when it comes to the hardcore legend, his unpredictability.
You know, Mike, this Sunday, when he steps into the ring with Kurt Angle, I'm going to be watching, and I'm damn sure going to be hoping that Mick Foley does regain that title, because all the marbles are on the line this Sunday, because the Main Event Mafia, quite frankly, could walk out of Victory Road with all the titles, all the power, and that's a situation none of us want to be in.
Great observation.
You talked about being...
Shut up, West. I'm sick of your smart ass.
I was agreeing with you.
Jeff, you talked about being totally focused on 4 matches, starting with this one in the 6 sides of steel, the 3 title matches this Sunday at Victory Road. Need to get your comments on Kevin Nash versus AJ Styles for the Legends title.
the Legends title brought into this organization with Booker T. But AJ, he took it from him. AJ wants to breed pride and prestige of that title. But the big man, Kevin Nash, was on his game. And I tell you one thing, AJ's got his work cut out for him.
Also this Sunday at Victory Road, TNA World Tag Team titles at stake. Booker T, Scott Steiner to challenge Beer Money and Colton.
You know, Mike, Beer Money, two homegrown guys in this organization. Bobby from Team Canada, James Storm from America's Most Wanted. They've come together over the last 2 years, and quite frankly, they have amazed everybody. But I can tell you one thing, Booker T and Scott Steiner are two pros, two great tag team specialists. Beer Money has got their work cut out this Sunday.
Kurt Angle takes control. Flings Sting right into the steel cage. When we return, more of Angle and Sting. And we are back on Impact. This is the continuation of our main event contested in the 6 sides of steel. Kurt Angle versus Sting. And again, Sting driven face first right into the side of the cage. Angle is relentless, isn't he?
I guess this answers your question why Kurt Angle wanted it in the 6 sides of steel. He's always got a game plan. He's a true champion, and he knows how to do one thing, and that is flat get it done in that ring and come out a winner.
And I said that almost word for word earlier. I appreciate you.
Dan West, shut up. I don't need any of your butt kissing anymore the rest of the show.
You're dead on.
This battle for respect that Sting has been talking about for months, when it comes to this new generation of wrestlers, as we see Sting fight back, and what an exchange this is this a winnable battle?
You know, today, it's going to come down to this Sunday night, because one day I think it is winnable. The next day, you see a guy like Eric Young flat out turn your back. He was a cornerstone of the front line, just like Samoa Joe. Just look what happened last month at Slammiversary. It was a memory for the ages, and one I would love to forget.
Sting turns the tide, elevating Angle, taking him up into the cage, but only able to get a near fall. Follow-up move, Stinger splash in the corner and from behind. Angle, quick reversal, perfect counter, and then rushes Sting right into the corner, and you see the shoulder blocks. The mystery advisor of Samoa Joe promised to be revealed this Sunday at Victory Road. Boy, whoever it is has really turned up the brutality level of a nation of violence. Jeff, do you feel personally betrayed by Samoa Joe's actions against the TNA Originals as Sting cleans house?
I absolutely do. It was literally a ball shot from Samoa Joe, and then on top of that, what a surprise Kurt Angle put together by bringing Joe into his camp. What I want to know is, who's he going to bring into the camp this Sunday? Because they have guaranteed they're revealing the guy this Sunday.
I want to know that same thing.
Speaking of Victory Road, this Sunday's live exclusive pay-per-view as we see Angle hit the suplex on Sting. As the TNA founder, Jeff Jarrett, just how important is Victory Road to you in the future of the company?
This Sunday night means everything to TNA and myself. I can tell you one thing. I'm going to watch and see what the results are going to be, and then and only then will the King of the Mountain put his game plan together.
What the hell? Holy cow! What the hell? Samoa Joe just came over here and knocked the crap out of the King of the Mountain, Jim Jarrett.
And Joe takes referee Rudy Charles, drives him into the steel steps.
He's got the keys,
He's got the
Mike.
key for the padlock.
Look at this. Oh, my God. He's going to get that cage open. He can't get it open quick enough, as you can see Kurt thinking about tapping.
And Samoa Joe not only opening the
Look,
cage
he's locking
door,
it.
but you're right, he's putting the padlock back in place.
Sting realizes it now. And as he looks at Joe, he's right there waiting for him.
We're going to see him square off Sunday at Victory Road. This is a preview in the 6 sides of steel, and Sting's going to lock it on. Here comes the Scorpion Deathlock.
Jeff Jarrett is still not even to his feet behind us as Samoa Joe just cleaned his clock.
Attacked him from...
Oh, I think I know what this symbolizes. I think I know who this symbolizes. I believe Sting knows it too. We'll have it confirmed this Sunday. And all of a sudden, the situation's completely different now with Samoa Joe choking Sting.
Well, you can see the nightstick there in the middle of the ring, and obviously Joe's advisor threw it in as You see Jeff Jarrett jumping up on the cage.
Look at this. Mick Foley trying to make his way inside the 6 sides of steel, and Kurt Angle just using that retractable baton, that nightstick to knock him down off the cage.
Obviously, Kurt Angle knew what he was doing when he decided to have this match inside the 6 sides of steel. As here comes Kevin Nash, as he gives Jeff Jarrett one and another one, as Kevin Nash is taking it to the founder.
Main Event Mafia members surrounding the 6 sides of steel. Steiner and Booker come down as well for the beatdown on Foley. And now it all makes sense. Now we know why Angle wanted this in the steel cage.
That's why he's the Godfather. He's in total control of everything. Oh, Jeff Jarrett just went into the steel steps.
What a brutal, what a violent beatdown we have witnessed tonight from the Main Event Mafia. And as Samoa Joe chokes the life out of Sting, will the Main Event Mafia do the same thing to the TNA organization at Victory Road?
This Sunday, total domination by the Main Event Mafia.
While the champion admits that there's something exhilarating about being insane, he also will tell you that that World Heavyweight title belt that he holds on his way to the ring, it is his lifeblood.
I've asked before and I'll ask it again. I mean, is Sting crazy or is he crazy like a fox? That's what I'm wondering. That's just me. I don't know. But all I know is that man across the ring in the red, white, and blue, and Kurt Angle, he wants to win this match and become world champion. He don't care what the champion's motives are. He don't care if he's doing it for the rightful owner of Dixie Carter. He don't care about that. Kurt wants to be the best. He wants to win the title. And I'll tell you what, I'm starting to think I like Kurt's chances in this.
Who better to set the stage for our Hardcore Justice World Title main event than Jeremy Borash?
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is your Hardcore Justice main event of the evening. When the bell rings, the man in charge, TNA official, Mr. Brian Hebner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, live from Universal Studios, Orlando, Florida, Direct Auto Insurance proudly brings to you your Hardcore Justice main event of the evening. Introducing, first of all, standing in the corner to my left. He weighed in this morning at 234 pounds and comes to us from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He is professional wrestling's only Olympic gold medalist and the #1 contender for the heavyweight championship of the world, Kurt Angle. And now, introducing, standing in the corner to my right. He weighed in this morning at 258 pounds and comes to us from Venice Beach, California. He is the current reigning and defending heavyweight champion of the world, the Icon, Sting.
Well, while we have seen these two battle in the past, everything from title matches to empty arena bouts, I have to admit I'm so intrigued by seeing this world title match because of Kurt Angle's obsession to become world heavyweight champion and the unpredictability of that defending title holder Sting, and here we go.
That's the thing. I mean, the world champion Sting, he's really got to be careful because he kind of snaps, does something weird, or gets a little crazy in there. Someone like Kurt Angle can attack and capitalize on a miscue by Sting, and we can crown a new champ that quick. Kurt has the physical capability to pull that off. With a point of the elbow, man, right into the elbow. This is what you don't want to do if you're Sting. You don't want to get into a wrestling match.
I was thinking,
with Kurt.
Is it really a great strategy to try to out-wrestle Kurt Angle. And that's a decision that Sting has to make when it comes to the game plan.
Well, this is definitely not Sting's first barbecue. We know that. So, you know, I mean, as crazy as he is, I mean, he knows what he's doing in there. A lot of years of success. Nice headlock takedown by the challenger. See Kurt's all body weight right on the side of the cheek and face of Sting.
Doesn't miss a trick, does he?
No, that's how you do it, man. That's it. All about leveraging your body on the other guy's head and arm or wherever you're holding him.
And the crowd divided here in the Impact Zone for champion and challenger in this Hardcore Justice main event title showdown.
Now Kurt Angle keeps that one knee down to keep his balance right as he comes back up. Sting just running right through Angle there. Nice, quick hip toss. See that arm drag right there, controlling Sting's body. Look at a knee, the right knee of Kurt, placed right in the side of the face and head of Sting. Sting trying to move his face out of the way. You don't want the guy to control you that way.
And while Kurt Angle has control at this point, he's already thinking several moves ahead, isn't he?
Oh, he's damn right. Definitely. That's an awesome point by you, Mike. I mean, that hammerlock was probably in his mind as he had that armbar on, because that's what great wrestlers do. You have to think several holds ahead.
Sting able to back Angle up into the corner. Caught him unaware with the elbow. Reels off a series of rights and then sends Angle chest first to the corner and then takes out the knee.
Well, if it was the back of the knee, it couldn't really tell, Michael. Back of the hamstring of Kurt.
It almost looked like Kurt favoring the hamstring, putting his hand down there and getting.
There it is, hamstring, man. He's trying to knot up that hamstring. That's what he's doing.
And why wouldn't you if you're going to use the Scorpion Deadlock?
Yeah, absolutely. And then also, what that does, if you could chop and rip apart a hamstring on Kurt Angle, it's going to completely eliminate the suplex arsenal that Kurt can put on you, because he cannot back arch into those throws.
Wow. Elbow catches Sting right in the face as he came off the ropes. Physical nature of the Olympic gold medalist on display here.
Kurt keeps grabbing at that left hamstring. That thing could be knotted up pretty good. I know Kurt stretches a lot before a match. That definitely would help, but when the guy the size of Sting, oh my God, that's not gonna help the hamstring.
We've heard Kurt Angle talk in recent weeks about preparation to go back to the Olympics. And we see a Kurt Angle who's dropped, I think he said something in the neighborhood of like 15, 20 pounds.
I didn't think he even needed to do that, but he did. He wants to get in his wrestling weight.
Makes for certainly a quicker Kurt Angle. And I think Sting has had an awfully good game plan to this point to counteract so much of Angle's potential offense.
And the world champion Sting right here. He's got complete control of this match. And you're seeing the violent side of Sting right there, breaking the count so the referee doesn't count him out.
And nobody has been more committed than Sting when it comes to holding on to that lifeblood that is the world heavyweight title. And you can see that Sting's in incredible condition as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Both men preparing and knowing that this match tonight here at Hardcore Justice was going to be so important to the future of this entire organization.
And even though there's that respect amongst these men, oh, nice.
Watch this, boom, fall-away slam by Angle. Now, I'm not sure whether he had that in mind or whether the leg may have gone out on it.
He's slapping at his hamstring again. He snatched in that fireman carry real quick into that back Samoan drop, but I don't know how much that might have affected Kurt's left hamstring. Gotta keep an eye on that. It was enough to drop Sting. This is where you don't want to deal with Kurt dissecting you while you're on the mat, especially while you're on bottom.
Chinlock applied by the challenger.
Kurt's got all his body weight, his buttocks, right in the lower back of Sting. And that really takes the wind out of you. You can't explain it to people, man, how much that bothers you when it's later in the match and you're starting to suck some wind and the guy's hanging all over you and he's putting his weight on you. It really sucks.
It was imperative for Sting to get back up to his feet, and that's exactly what he did.
Oh, God.
After Sting caught Angle with elbows,
Oh, man.
Kurt had that knee that just, man, talk about taking the wind right away from the champ, right into the midsection with the knee.
Took Sting right off his feet, jacked him up.
Backbreaker, drops him across the knee and right into the pin.
Attacking the rib cage. Went for that hard knee in the belly. Now you see the knee, the right knee of Kurt placed in the rib cage area, the back of the rib cage.
Yeah, chin lock again, but a little different variation because of the placement of Angle's legs and knees.
Yeah, there it is right there, great shot. And looks like Kurt might have a attack the midsection in mind type deal going on here.
It's just so interesting to see the strategy between these two because every time that Angle tries to turn it into a wrestling match and tries to out-mat wrestle Sting, Sting comes back with a quick flurry of offense.
Well, he has to. That's smart by Sting. He has to do that. Look at that. Oh, wow. Explosiveness. Fired right out of that corner. I don't know if Kurt even know what the hell hit him.
You saw a great camera shot of the close-up of the face of Kurt Angle as his eyes rolled into the back of his head after his head made contact with the canvas after that big clothesline out of the corner by the champion.
Both men down. Both men down. Referee Brian Hebner counting. See who gets standing up first.
6, 7.
Watch Angle. Oh, I thought he was going to measure and maybe go for a suplex, but Sting was prepared.
Look at Sting's like hit a second win here. Shifted it in 4th gear. Boom!
Wow.
Right on that surgically repaired neck.
DDT, pin, and
That DDT really contorts your neck and your spinal column. So I was really ugly by Sting with that DDT.
so many of the moves.
Wait a minute.
Both men have been so well thought out as Angle goes to his specialty. Suplex, pin, 2 count.
Over the head, belly suplex by Angle. Look at Angle stalking. Angle slam here. Oh, counter.
Sting saw it coming and able to catch him in the lower back with an elbow and then drops him down. This could do it right here. Sting pin, 2. Ooh.
Sting had a look in his eyes like, what the hell do I got to do to beat this man?
We talked earlier about Sting going for the Scorpion because of weakening the hamstring of Angle. I thought that's what he was preparing to do. Angle saw that, sends him to the ropes, and now we're going to go for the multiple German suplexes. We're at 2 and counting.
Tough to break that grip, and as you can see, the grip is sucked in by Kurt. It's a third. It's a hat trick right there.
This could be it. Gonna roll Sting over, gonna go lateral. Press, 2. Well, you're right. Every time he hits one of those suplexes, you also see how Angle cinches up the grip right across the midsection and takes out the air and takes the wind away from the champion.
And then when your body hits the mat, it knocks the hell out of you. But
Massive blow when you hit that canvas.
But also doing all those throws takes something out of you too. But Kurt Angle right now,
Not afraid to go
look
high
at
risk.
this. Look at this.
And 0 reward for the Olympic gold medalist who goes for the top rope moonsault.
Kurt Angle throwing caution to the wind. Took a shot, high risk. He missed.
Sting slides in. How about that?
Huge Angle slam.
Yeah, out of Angle's playbook and leads to 2. Did he get him? Boy, it couldn't be any closer.
Good God, that was close. Didn't expect to see that Angle slam out of Sting now.
Scorpion, here it is. How effective has Sting's offense been to this point? The weakening of the leg and the hamstring of Angle leads to the Scorpion deathlock, a move that has gained Sting through the years. Hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of victories.
Kurt's caught in the middle of the ring. Mike has got to try and get to a rope to break this hold. Oh my God, the pain that Kurt is in.
Was he going to tap here? You can see that he's fighting through that pain. It's excruciating. And he's still got a long way to go to catch the ropes.
Look at Kurt fight his ass off to get there, and he does.
That's that drive, and that's that determination.
Takes a lot out of you, though.
Stinger splash, time up coming.
Oh, God.
Great close-up shot again.
It's over 240 pounds, just nailing you when you don't know what's coming.
Angle saw him coming that time. Boom. There it is. Angle slam and cover. Here's two.
A lot of near falls in this match. We almost crowned a new world champion right there.
Champion and challenger regroup.
Kurt struggling to get to a vertical base.
Both men using the ring ropes to get to their feet. That's how physical this has been. Quickness of Sting, avoiding Angle, who went right into the corner. Not sure, did his shoulder go all the way to the post?
It looked like it might have. Whoa, look at this!
Oh my God, Sting with Angle's own ankle lock submission. First he tried to beat him with the Angle slam, and now it's the submission hold applied of the ankle lock. And again, Kurt's in no man's land when it comes to getting a rope break. Might have to go to another strategy to try and break this. You can see that he's thinking of tapping also.
Got to try to roll through there. That's exactly it.
Free leg. And then the quick double leg. That'll turn about fair play, right?
Oh, he's got that thing overhooked, that scorpion leg lock. He's grabbing on his own ankle. Look at Kurt's in pain.
Sure. After being in the ankle lock. Is he able to apply that scorpion with really all of the pressure because he's got to favor the ankle?
Oh my God, he's got that cinched in, but yeah, exactly. Can Kurt get all of the force in it where he keeps grabbing at his own ankle?
Sting crawling closer and closer and extends the hand to get the rope break.
True physical battle here. Both men taking pages out of each other's playbook. Again to the lower back, he had that scorpion leg lock on, which doesn't only affect the legs, but it does greatly affect your spine, your lower back, and all the muscles in your back. Hence why Angle is attacking the lower back.
Series of those double sledge-like moves to the lower back.
Wow.
And then goes back to the grip again. It's going to go back to the multiple Germans. Suplex one.
He's just an animal. It's so hard to do what he's doing at this late
deep
in the
into the match,
yeah,
especially.
From a conditioning standpoint, it's so difficult. Got blasted right there. That elbow was on point.
And how about Sting taking Angle?
Oh, lost him. Wait a minute.
But it was Kurt who dropped down, and Kurt who applies the ankle lock.
Sting's in trouble. Sting's in trouble here.
Again, ring positioning for Kurt is pretty damn good. Out towards the center.
He'll rip that damn ankle off. Sting might want to tap, but if he taps, he loses the world title.
That's his lifeblood. As Brian Hebner, the referee, is right there. Perfect positioning to see if Sting is either going to tap or verbally submit.
Not just his ankle, Sting's knee.
Oh, Sting able to roll through. Ankle, shoulders down.
Wow.
Another amazing 2.9, 2 9/10. Almost to win.
I thought that was the end of the party right there. Oh, the ref! Oh my God!
Angle went for that Enziguri kick. He caught Sting on the side of the head, but then he nailed Hebner flush.
Yeah, no way Hebner's getting up. We're gonna have to get another ref out here or something. It's a world title match. Hebner just got cracked. Both men are down.
All three men down.
All three men are down, exactly.
And the crowd here at the Impact Zone rises to their feet as Immortal's Hulk Hogan, with a steel chair in hand, is coming down to the ringside area. And more than the area, Hogan's headed right into the ring.
Well, Hogan has a disdain for both of these men.
Hogan lining up, Sting, steel chair in hand.
Oh, watch. Wait.
And Angle takes the chair right out of Hogan's hands. Angle has said repeatedly, he does not want any interference. Oh, the hell?
What was that?
Kurt Angle just used the steel chair across the back of Sting and then connects with the Angle slam. Angle covers, gets two, and gets three. My God, Kurt Angle has won the title.
The winner of the match, and new heavyweight champion of the world, Kurt Angle.
I think everybody is shocked at what just happened here, including Hulk Hogan.
Think of what we've just seen. For weeks, Kurt Angle has said, I want one thing and I want one thing only. I want a clean victory. I want no outside interference. I want to pin Sting and win that world title. Hogan introduces the chair. Angle uses it as a weapon. And Kurt Angle is the new world heavyweight champion.
Kurt guaranteed victory, and when he did it, we crowned a new world heavyweight champion in Kurt Angle.
When it comes to the challenger, Sting's unpredictability, it has become a trademark of the insane icon.
I think it's kind of more or less pole vaulted, I should say, Sting's career to another level, as if he couldn't get any higher. So, I mean, Kurt Angle's got his hands full here because you never know what this man Sting is going to do. Sting don't know what he's going to do.
Hulk Hogan, world heavyweight champion Kurt Angle, is on a mission tonight. Not only does Angle have to fight to keep his title against Sting, but as we heard at the top of this Impact Wrestling broadcast, the discussion with Hulk Hogan, Kurt says he will injure Sting. He'll put him on the shelf so that there's no threat to Hulk Hogan's power. Here he is, the final piece to the puzzle. The man who named himself as the special enforcer for this World Heavyweight Title Showdown, the Immortals leader, the immortal Hulk Hogan.
More or less heard, as you said, Mike, at the top of the show, Hulk Hogan wants Kurt Angle to rip Sting limb from limb. I mean, Hogan making himself saying, listen, Sting, you're not in charge here. The network's not in charge. I'm in charge. I'm a special enforcer. And we got some big-time players out here in this main event.
Who better to set the stage as we send it to the ring and JB, Jeremy Borash.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall and is your Impact Wrestling main event of the evening. When the bell rings, the man in charge, Impact Wrestling official, Mr. Brian Hebner. And now, from Huntsville, Alabama, it's time for your Impact Wrestling main event of the evening for the Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing, first of all, standing outside the ring, he is the special guest enforcer for the main event. He is the immortal Hulk Hogan. And now introducing your combatants. First of all, standing in the corner to my left, he weighed in this morning at 255 pounds and is the challenger. He is the icon, Sting. And now, introducing, standing in the corner to my right, he weighed in this morning at 225 pounds and comes to us from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He is the current reigning and defending heavyweight champion of the world, Kurt Angle.
stakes. Impact Wrestling main event as referee Brian Hebner displays Kurt Angle's World Heavyweight title, the championship belt that goes to the winner.
Big fight feel right now.
Feeling out process in the opening minute of this world title matchup as Sting, in an attempt to neutralize Angle with the side headlock, Kurt sends him off into the corner, and then the clean break from the champ.
That's the thing, if you're Sting, you really don't want to get into a ground attack or a ground battle or a grappling match with Kurt Angle. Aren't many alive today that are going to defeat Kurt in that type of a match. Use your size advantage, which isn't a huge size advantage, but Sting definitely is the larger of the two men in the ring right now.
Hip toss takeover followed by the arm drag.
Watch yourself out there now.
Angle has second thoughts as he goes back out, going to try and regroup.
Well, that's the thing, he's got to regroup. He's getting a little frustrated, and maybe Hulk's going to go over there and motivate him a little bit. Wow, Hulk earlier tonight motivated Immortal, right? We saw that. I like seeing Hulk do that.
Firing up the troops as Angle back in. Boot to the midsection of Sting as he takes over. Follows up with big overhand rights to the head of the challenger.
Oh, nice quick reversal by Sting. Oh, look at that explosive running clothesline again. Kurt Angle getting out of the ring, trying to regroup, but this time looks like Sting not gonna let him take a little walk. Give him a little assistance.
Sting going to try and follow up the offensive advantage. First it's into the barricade, then into the steel steps.
A lot of impact. Kurt just landed face first in that steel. See, I like that. Sting didn't even waste time talking to Hogan.
Went for the Stinger splash in the corner. But how about that counter by Kurt Angle with the suplex?
The quickness of how fast Kurt can snatch someone's body and clasp his hands and pop his hips and throw you is so impressive.
And now Sting has to deal with the game plan and strategy of an Olympic gold medalist wrestler as Kurt takes control on the mat.
Hey, Kurt's training for the Olympics. He's in the best shape I've ever seen him, honestly. So, I mean...
And how about Sting at the same time? In incredible shape as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. But Kurt able to hang... Oh, wait a minute. Oof.
Desperation move by Sting, but it pays off. Elevating Angle up into the air, then dropping him down with the back suplex.
It's got to be for Hulk Hogan to watch Kurt get back, suplex right on back of his head there. Got to be bothering Hulk a little bit. Because he just, Hulk just wants Kurt to just tear apart Sting. But Sting just building a bunch of moves together. He's got some offense going here.
Then when he came into the corner, Angle caught him with the elbow. Oh, but Sting quickly doubles him over. First with the boot, then drops him down. Quick cover by Sting. Swinging this with the clothesline by Sting, and here goes Angle. All about that incredible balance, that leverage, and the torque, the hip movement as he maintains the grip. Suplex 2.
That one was the most impactful one, the third one. Could this do it?
Could it be? Here's 2. Just the way that Angle stalks, sneaks up from behind it. Oh, Sting able to float over, and then the Scorpion death drop out of nowhere.
Here we go.
Do you have a new champ?
Oh, look at that. Sting.
They're going to go for that Scorpion deathlock instead. It's the Kurt Angle ankle lock, his patented submission move. And in terms of ring positioning, boy, it looks awful good for the champ.
You're not kidding. Kurt will rip every ligament and little bone in the ankle of Sting. He'll rip it apart. No remorse.
Hogan would like nothing more if that happened. happens, but instead, Sting able to use the free leg, but still favoring his leg and able to avoid Kurt, who goes straight through, shoulder into the steel post.
That ankle lock doesn't have to be on long to be effective. Look at that counter, with a back throw, and Kurt again. He's stalking for something, that ankle slam, baby.
And got it. Angle slam, leg hook, two, no!
There's been a few near falls in this match. That was super close.
Now, the Olympic gold medalist takes the straps down. Gonna take it to another level.
Look at his eyes. The eyes of Kurt, watch out! I think Kurt was a little overzealous there.
Sting explodes out of the corner. Decking, Angle with the clothesline. Gonna drag him back out to the middle. And gonna go Scorpion Deathlock. Gonna take that long step over. There it is. Submission hold applied. With Hogan being here. Special enforcer at ringside. Hulk Hogan motioning to the back. Angle on the verge of tapping. He's got his hand in the air. Who is it? It's Gunner. Immortal's Gunner. Steel chair. Brian Hebner takes the chair right out of his hand.
Oh. Still hanging on to that hold. My God, the pain that Kurt's got to be in. Now Hulk's in the ring. Kurt's tapping out. Kurt's tapping.
We should have a new champion. Sting should be the world champ.
Right in the chest.
Hogan with the chair. And Sting gets right back in his face. Watch Angle.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, the Angle slam. Sting crashing down, back first onto the steel chair. When referee Brian Hebner turns around, he counts two. He counts three.
The winner of the match, and still heavyweight champion of the world, Kurt Angle.
Hey, man, that Angle slam on that steel chair, Sting's body really landed hard, Mike, on that steel chair. There was no way in hell he was kicking out of that.
But how about the Scorpion Deathlock that was applied by Sting? He had Angle exactly where he wanted, to the point where Kurt Angle, the world heavyweight champion, he had tapped out. We should have a new world champion in the Icon Sting.
Well, wait, look at this now, Sting.
Angle taken out to the floor. Sting turns his attention to the Immortal Boss, eye to eye with Hulk Hogan. Remember, Sting earlier tonight said the grand prize would be when he finally gets Hogan.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh!
Here come the troops, here comes the Immortal Gang, and now the beatdown led by Bully Ray. Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. Jeff Jarrett gonna join in as well. Monster Abyss in the ring.
He's just taking turns, just smashing.
Mr. Anderson.
Anderson, yeah.
Mr. Anderson wielding the trademark baseball bat of Sting. Eye to eye, Anderson with Bully Ray. And look at Bully Ray bail. Kurt Angle remains world heavyweight champion. But how about Mr. Anderson sticking up for Sting?